If I were to pose you a very subjective question, what is, in your opinion, the best movie franchise ever made? You might say something like Wizard Boy, or Ring Boy, or Lightsaber Boy. And I would say, you're wrong. She said, in my opinion. Shut up. The best movie franchise ever made, without a doubt, is Diary of a Wimpy Kid. The first movie came out swinging following the success of the first book. Coupled with the fan favorite casting, this movie became a staple in homes across the globe. Following that up a year later, they released a sequel, arguably better than the first film, providing all the same qualities and laughs we got from the first film. Then to keep that successful ball rolling, the next year, a third movie, acting as what a lot of people viewed as the end of the franchise. All of these beloved characters had now grown up and the actors had... So obviously 5 years later, boom! A fourth movie. Finally, another Diary of a Wimpy Kid film. We get to see all our beloved characters again, like Rowley, or Greg, or Rodrick. Okay, what the f***? I've been looking for an excuse to go back and watch all these movies from my childhood. So... we open the first movie on every Gen Z girl's first hear me out. And let's just get this out of the way. It's so obvious what made these movies so memorable. The casting. I cannot criticize any casting choice made in this movie. Every single person in this movie I only know from this movie. Steve Zahn? Never heard of him. Oh, you mean Frank Heffley. When I watched Oppenheimer for the first time, the only thing I could think in this scene, before they blew up an atomic bomb, was, that's Rodrick! And here's a cute fact. Before casting decisions were final, Zachary Gordon stated that at his 11th birthday, his birthday wish was to get casted for the role of Greg. And I think we're all glad he did. I don't know exactly how they did such a phenomenal job with the casting, but bravo.
The only reason I agreed to write in this thing is because when I'm rich and famous, I'll have better things to do than answer people's stupid questions all day long.
Gregory, tell us about your childhood.
Were you always so smart and handsome?
Here's my journal. Now, shoo.
So look, Mom asked me to give you some advice about middle school. It's real simple. Don't talk to anyone. Don't look at anyone. Don't go anywhere. Don't sit down. Don't raise your hand. Don't go to the bathroom. Don't get noticed. Don't choose the wrong locker. Don't.
Now, I'm not sure if anyone has stated that this movie is uneducational, but I followed these rules to a T in high school. And now,
I am so lonely.
Quick word of wisdom for anyone who's unable to get the message from this film, but Rowley is 148 times more likable than Greg. He's fun, nice, and authentic. And that's why Rowley pulls.
We're gonna divide you up into two teams. So you two over here, three. This side, good. You guys are going to be shirts, and you will be skins.
Segregation? This movie's more realistic than I remember.
It's barbaric.
It's completely barbaric. This place is an intellectual wasteland.
Why'd she drag a chair there? When did she drag a chair there? The absolute disrespect towards Rowley in this movie is so unwarranted.
He had to eat his lunch on the floor.
Perfect. And if nobody wants you sitting at their table, you think they want chummy buttons over here?
I didn't know Rodrick was into motorcycles.
The class favorites. They're the best in their class.
Now, fun fact, as a kid, I also wanted a position in the yearbook. And luckily, everyone at my school had, like a really bad sense of humor, which is why I got this. Most likely to become a comedian.
Don't you have to be funny for that?
What did I tell you would happen if you ever went in my room again? Let go, baby hippo! Oh, you're gonna have to come out sometime, loser. I'll wait here as long as it takes.
Time out, Rodrick. I have to pee.
No timeouts, only death.
And maybe I just had a boring room growing up, but why does Greg have such a sick room? He's got a dartboard in his bedroom. Great. Greg, being the little narcissist that he is, looks at potential clubs he could join to hopefully end up in the yearbook. And him being half the size of everyone, decides it's a great idea to join wrestling. No. He then gets absolutely destroyed by our friend Fregley, which is a hilarious thing to name your kid. I don't know if it's a nickname or his legal name. I prefer to think the latter because that is hilarious. Come on, you're almost there. Keep pushing. There he is. It's your baby boy. Ew. What's wrong? Oh, it's nothing. It's your baby boy. I gotta go do some doctor stuff. Oh my. Ew. Ew, he's an ugly baby. Oh my goodness. Hi, have you decided on a name yet? I was thinking Fred, but this baby is way too fugly to get that kind of name. Fugly, huh? I think I have a suggestion.
My boss's son, Will, was smaller than you, but he built himself up with the weights. We could get you the same equipment. You could train, get the right nutrition, cardio. You'd be in tip-top shape, just like Will. And it would only take like 3 months.
Now, I remember thinking when I was a kid, 3 months? That's way too long. I'll just look up how to get abs in 10 minutes. But now I understand. 3 months is an understatement for a body transformation. Frank's being generous. And schizophrenic. But we'll get to that in a bit. Then to feed into Greg's narcissistic tendencies, they show the class this video.
Is about to learn an important lesson about self-worth and esteem.
Okay, let's talk about what we've learned.
I don't know about anyone else, but I know what I learned. It is awesome to be me. The problem with Rowley is that he's not enough like me. I can't ditch him because he'd be lost without me. But maybe I can fix him.
Fix him? Fix him? Yep. Greg sucks.
Wow, you're lucky. My mom doesn't let me play with makeup anymore.
Shut up, Tool. Going to the north side, huh? They used to right past the Devil Worshipper woods. You know about that story, right? There used to be this house right here where these woods are. They had to tear it down because what happened there was so terrible. A long time ago, 2 kids who were, I don't know, maybe in middle school, they put the kids in these giant pizza ovens, and they cooked them, and they ate them. But they forgot to turn off the ovens, so the house burned down with everyone in it.
How'd the trees get there?
And then they planted trees.
This movie's the best. After getting chased by a couple goons on Halloween, Rowley finally becomes self-aware.
We need to call your mom to come get us. Mom will kill me if she knows we're here. Mine will too. She thinks you're a bad influence. She's right.
I'm sorry, but what the hell is a leaf blower going to do? Anyway, Greg the Grunk breaks Rowley's arm and now is angry at him for having a broken arm. I told you, Rowley Pulse. The audacity to stand up preemptively thinking you were going to win. Even the teacher's like, yeah, Rowley, you got it.
You know what, Greg? You're not a good friend. Don't call me. Don't come by my house. We're done.
Yes! Rowley! You finally did it! Rowley! 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 To continue. They're now auditioning for the school play, and everyone besides Zach uses their real singing voice here. But nonetheless, Greg sings like an angel. And pause! That guy, that character right there, might be the most interesting character in the movie. Because he's now in prison. Because he killed someone. Not in the movie, in real life. And not just someone, his own mother. It is an insane, terrifying story that's honestly a little bad to be putting in this video, so I'll only briefly discuss it. But after his early acting success of getting casted in Diary of a Wimpy Kid and then later Riverdale, things were looking up for this guy. However, unfortunately, as what happens with a lot of child actors, he wasn't getting that many more acting roles. And this started to have a pretty serious toll on him mentally. Eventually, he reached a breaking point and decided he was going to assassinate the Prime Minister of Canada. Why? I don't know. But Diary of a Wimpy Kid was actually filmed in Canada, so maybe there's a connection. But he found a flaw in his plan. His mother. He didn't want her to live as this mother of a murderer. So he thought it would make sense to kill her. Then on the way to Canada, he changed his mind and turned himself in. It is a horrific story, but also interesting trivia next time you're watching this movie with someone.
Sing! Sing!
I thought Dorothy deserved it.
Of course you did. Rodrick once again proves himself to be the king of feminism.
Do you have anything you want to say to women for having owned this offensive magazine?
I'm sorry, women.
And after a brutal public battle between Rowley and Greg, they make up and the movie is over. This movie is just great. And it also made nearly $80 million in the box office, so it's no surprise that next year... So this movie is probably my favorite in the franchise, and it's for a reason you probably didn't pick up on. So if I just go over here to this sketchy website, now it should be fine, and... the hell? I don't even have a doorbell. Hello? Huh. No one's here.
Unsecure network. Information stolen.
No! Has this ever happened to you? You're on an unsecure network and someone with barely any hacking skills steals all of your personal info. Luckily, I've recently partnered with ExpressVPN to keep myself and you safe online. So what is a VPN? Asked the unprotected person watching this video. Well, my friend, it's a virtual private network, a secure tunnel between your device and the internet, keeping your data private. Now here's why that matters. Your internet service provider, the people you pay for internet, can see, log, and sometimes even sell everything you do online. In Australia, the UK, and the US, your ISPs are allowed or even required to keep a log of your browsing history for years. Doesn't matter if you're in incognito or you clear your browsing history, they have a log of it. Even your boss or school can see what you're looking at on their Wi-Fi. ExpressVPN encrypts and reroutes all of your traffic online. So no one can spy on you online. Not your ISP, not hackers, not me, and not even that guy in the cafe pretending to do work on his novel. Speaking of creepy goblins, public Wi-Fis are basically a free buffet for these hackers. Airports, hotels, cafes, you name it. If it's unencrypted, you're a sitting duck. That's the worst kind of duck. ExpressVPN wraps your data in best-in-class encryption, making you a hacker's worst nightmare. A standing duck. Now, my absolute favorite part. Unblocking content. Ever wanted to watch something not available in your country? With ExpressVPN, you can change your virtual location and unlock tons of new content. I've been wanting to rewatch How I Met Your Mother for like the 12th time recently, but in Australia, they took it off Netflix. We'll count them. 1 click, 2 clicks, and it's back. You want more anime? Japan, boom. Breaking Bad? US, boom. The Office? Canada, boom. You can also save money by getting better deals on flights or Spotify subscriptions. Plus, if you live in a country that censors the internet, you can bypass those restrictions with ExpressVPN. Personally, at home, I have terrible Wi-Fi, which has really kept me away if you're using a VPN, because I've heard that they slow your Wi-Fi speeds down. But with ExpressVPN, they invest in premium servers. So I have noticed zero slowdown. Plus, their trusted server technology means they physically cannot store your data. And with their 24/7 live chat support, you'll get answers in seconds, not hours. Additionally, you're completely in the clear with their 30-day money-back guarantee. You can even connect up to 8 devices at once. Get a password manager, a dedicated IP, even identity defender to remove your data from sketchy brokers. Since they're so awesome, they are offering my viewers, that's you, an awesome deal on a 2-year plan. Just head to expressvpn.com/Daniel. That's right, they gave me Daniel, the 12th most popular name in the world, and also Rodrick's middle name, to get an extra 4 months completely free on your 2-year plan. That's expressvpn.com/Daniel. Thanks again to ExpressVPN, and now back to that Wimpy Kid. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, right. So that Greg guy is going into 7th grade and he meets up with his good friend Rowley and Fugly, who gives him pizza. And have you not learned from the last movie? Never take food from this guy. It's not gonna go well. Greg is as narcissistic as usual because the second he sees a pretty girl, he's like, she will be mine. And it's nice to see he picked up some tendencies from his father and can't tell the difference between hallucinations and reality.
What? I said excuse me. You're blocking the exit.
Now after watching this scene, I only have one thought. Rodrick rules. He said the name. That's the name of the movie, guys. Yeah. He said the name of the movie. He said the name of the movie. Shut up.
Greg Heffley, this is your mother. Everything is going to be okay. Stay where you are, and your father is going to come rescue you. I repeat, everything is going to be okay. Okay, here he comes. Here comes Frank. I see him. He's on his way up there. Dad!
I know.
They have to be more self-aware than to pull a stunt like that. I mean, Frank has an excuse. He doesn't know what the hell is going on, but Susan? Susan?
Manny has been telling on me ever since he was able to speak.
Bubby did it. Bubby did it. Bubby did it.
Greg.
Manny's a little snitch. That relatable moment when your older brother causes your teacher generational hatred.
India? Why would you go there? I was thinking, we should enter the talent show. I could do my magic act and you could be my assistant. Assistant? No way. Doing magic tricks is bad enough. Assisting the guy doing the tricks? I'd never make it to 8th grade.
Has Greg learnt nothing since the last movie? Rowley knows what he's talking about. You don't. Rowley knows how to make people like him. You don't. Rowley pulls. You don't. So maybe drop your whole superior act and listen to the guy.
What? Manny, what have you done?
I'm only 3.
Manny.
I would love for that to be true, Gregory. It would provide hope for smaller boys everywhere. But girls like that just don't hang out with guys like us.
Damn. I didn't know this movie was such a proprietor of the black pill mindset.
You gotta be born sexy and with a good personality. That's why I paid the X premium.
After Rodrick rules his way into both him and Greg getting grounded, also I want that shirt, Frank's able to bypass his delusions for long enough to tell them,
Don't have anybody over this weekend.
which they immediately ignore. Seeing this party when I was a kid made me so hype for high school parties, and they are such a letdown. Just a bunch of people either drunk or stoned, and of course you play musical chairs. And I shouldn't have to keep reminding you, but Rowley, he pulls.
Hi, you've reached the Heffley residence. Please leave a message.
Hey guys, Manny's sick. We're on our way home. See you in an hour.
Holy! I do not care how efficient you are not cleaning up this house in 1 hour. Also, that chair definitely got wet. It's the name of the movie!
No, I got it!
See, it's a good thing I locked you down here now. Let's go!
Rodrick, the bathroom door. The door doesn't have a lock on it. The other door had a lock on it, and this doesn't. We're dead, and if they find out...
This might be the best joke in the franchise.
Does he know about the DO, Ari?
Huh?
The door.
No! No!
What the hell is his goal there?
Greg, 2 words. Bathroom door.
It was Rodrick. Maybe it was his idea. He had the party. Someone were on the door, so we had to change it.
I knew it.
First Manny, now Greg. These damn Heffleys. Because Rodrick thinks Greg kept his mouth shut about the whole door incident, they're now friends, but Greg, being the loser that he is, can't do anything but try to get one girl's attention. And it's going pretty well.
Hi, Holly.
Oh, hi, Fregley.
She thinks I'm friendly?
It's gotta hurt.
What is with Coach Malone? He's so mean to scrawny kids. Now Rodrick is showing Greg how to have a good night, sober, and they start with some awesome pranks. And I don't know about you, but if I saw fake vomit on my car, I wouldn't be scared. I'd probably do something like this. Oh, what the hell? Ew. That's it. I'm not clutching my pearls.
Who's out there?
Coach Malone?
Real funny, yeah? Oh, yeah. Well, you just messed with the wrong athlete! Show yourself! There's more, come on! Gotcha!
told you he was crazy. What if that was them? And you're just going to tackle two kids in a shopping center? Now, this is around the time that Frank loses it a bit more. The cracks start to form a tad.
Rodrick, can you explain what you're doing in this photo?
That's not me.
That's not you?
Nope.
I can't believe that you had a party!
Greg, you told me it was a couple of kids. A band rehearsal.
You told Mom?
I knew they had a party! You knew about this, but you didn't tell me about it? We are supposed to be a team.
Why were you taking
It was
pictures?
so crazy that morning that I forgot we took the pictures.
I haven't been able to look at that bathroom door for 2 weeks.
I knew that door had a lock on it! And everybody was trying to make me feel like I was losing my mind!
Now, weirdly good emotional acting from Devon when he's told as punishment he's not allowed to perform in the talent show, which, strange punishment. They get sent off to the nursing home to be with their grandfather, who delights them in some top-tier jokes.
Putting economic policy before fiscal responsibility is like putting the cart before the horse.
That is hilarious, Grandpa. I'll read another one, Greg.
And Greg gets his revenge on Holly.
See you later, Fregley. I thought being a grandpa's was a punishment. But really, it was destiny that Holly was here too. My luck had finally changed.
I've never believed in fate or destiny or whatever until now. Things are finally starting to go my way.
Rodrick, be quiet. Talk on the phone someplace else.
I thought being a grandpa's was punishment, but really, it was destiny that Holly was here too. My luck had finally changed. Aww.
Oh, Greg, you idiot. Everyone knows when you write about your little crush, you burn it to the ground. You don't give your older brother a chance to read it, alright? You burn it.
Whoop.
Very inconspicuous, Greg. Good job.
Is that a little boy running around naked? Oh, no, it's just a pot plant running around naked. That was almost weird.
Now the day we've been waiting for has finally come. The talent show. And uh-oh, things aren't going good. Riley's assistant for his magic act, remember like earlier when he was talking about that, got stage fright and is now not wanting to do the show because he's 7. And since Rodrick was banned from participating in the talent show, his band Loaded Diaper, sick name by the way, replaced him. And Frank?
This roller skating kid is really good. Don't you think that he would be good?
But luckily, Greg comes in clutch and knows how to kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
You wait for them to be flying next to each other, then throw it really hard.
And unrelated to that predicament, he also has a solution to both problems. He tells his mom that he will be Rowley's assistant in the magic act if she lets Rodrick participate in the talent show, which she agrees with.
I mean, how bad can it be?
What is with that reaction? These are parents. What's so surprising about a magic act? They haven't done anything yet. 2 people in costumes? They perform their tricks and people love it. And if you have somehow forgotten, Rowley pulls. So because of Greg's sacrifice, Rodrick forgives him and roll credits. That movie's great. And also performed well in the box office, which is why there's another movie. Now before we get to that, this is the point in my research that I discovered that not only are there books and not only are there movies, there's a f***ing musical. That's right, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the musical. You can still buy tickets. From what I gathered, this musical is based off the first movie, which is based off the first book. They have the whole album available to listen to. And although I assume this is way too many years late to be making a musical about this, says the guy making an entire YouTube video about this, but it's cool to see how excited everyone involved is. Some schools even perform it, and Zachary Gordon went and surprised someone performing it, which was pretty cool. So that's a fun fact. This video should be coming out during the second showing, so if you live in Nashville, go check it out. That might sound like I'm being paid to say that. I'm not sponsored by Jeff Kinney. but I am by ExpressVPN. We open. Why would you stay somewhere like that? Go home, sit on your lawn, go to the park, I don't care, just don't go there. Now it's their last day of 7th grade, and what is with this trope of you've waited long enough? If you haven't been spending much time online, or your feed isn't as broken as mine, either way, I'm jealous. But you've probably been quite confused at the references I've been making to one character, Frank Heffley. This individual, who many know only as Frank Heffley, the father of Gregory Heffley, Rodrick D. Heffley, and the third boy known to many as Manny. However, the people more familiar with Frank know the cracks and flaws that he demonstrates in his facade.
Ah! Guess who's the laugher now? Me!
It was revealed in a recent interview that Frank had many mental complications with schizophrenia. Yet Susan, his wife, informed us that it wasn't a problem until it was.
No! I stopped laughing! I stopped!
So, what happened? He was struggling to identify what was real and what was fake. And while his profession wasn't affected by these said complications, his family was. The middle child, Gregory, and the older child, Rodrick, seemed to place a lot of stress on Frank, causing more vivid hallucinations. Luckily, the youngest child, Manny, coupled with his professional gaslighting skills, was able to shift his share of the blame onto another character, Bubby. Many believe he's referring to his older brother. However, I believe him, much like his father, struggles to distinguish between reality and his own delusions. Who is this Bubby character? That's a question for another day. The main incident transpired when Frank finally lost her at Rodrick and Greg, when he discovered that they had spent the entire day on TV and video games. This, while seeming minor and insignificant to us, may have been viewed as life or death to Frank, hence the incident. If you still have no idea what I'm talking about, you probably think I'm crazy now. But there's a joke going around stating that Frank is schizophrenic. People will make crazy edits of him, or even edit the movie down to an entire thriller trailer. I know I didn't have to explain that, but if you haven't seen that before, you were probably really confused. Now back to that movie. I am telling you, you think Frank's crazy? Still lying to try to pull? Bubby, come on. Listen to my boy Rowley and tell the truth. The furthest you've gotten with this little crush is by telling the truth. And now you're over here lying. He's gonna die alone. Because Greg, the chronic liar, uses this opportunity to tell his struggling father that he's gotten a job at this country club. But Rodrick sees through this facade and tells Greg that he'd be happy to keep his mouth shut as long as he brings him to the country club as well. Can I complain about something that is so consistent in movies? And I understand why they do it. It's because of like child labor laws and stuff. But you're telling me that she, someone who was 20 while filming this, is playing someone turning 16. How? And I was curious, so I looked up how old Rodrick was meant to be. He's also meant to be 16. However, it seems that failing to pull runs in the family. Frank not being able to pull his head together, then Rodrick and Greg not being able to get any girls. I just said Frank. Frank, through sheer bullying and delusion, gets the family a dog, which the cretin Manny names Sweetie. Anyone would do. Goes onto Riley's dad's computer, emails not just his parents, but all of his contacts, help, get me out of here, these people are driving me crazy. Then in the morning, calls the cops.
Hey, you're always getting in trouble with that Rowley kid. I'm starting to think he's a bad influence.
He's more delusional than I thought. Next time Greg is expecting to go to the country club, Rowley said that he's not going that day. And Rodrick was like, oh no. No. We're going. Just sneak in pretending to be Rowley. So he does, and guess who's there? Rowley. Itchy? I don't remember that part of the plan. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put ants in their sleeping bags. All right. Then we set a honey fly trap. So then they run out and get stuck on it. Yeah, I like this plan. And then we burn their personal possessions. Yeah. What? We take their tent and throw it in the fire along with all their other stuff. I don't think that's a good idea. Then we throw them in the fire. Oh no, he's as crazy as his dad. So yeah, they like to keep it modest, so it's in a tent outside of a massive mansion for the decor. I was watching this scene and I paused, rewound, pause again, zoom in, enhance. That man is Jeff Kinney, aka the author of Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That's the guy. So Loaded Diaper absolutely nails their performance and nothing bad happens. And wait, Am I seeing this right? You don't. It's gonna be happening. Greg pulled. He actually did it. He broke the family curse. Greg pulled. And that's it. Roll credits. It was a lot of fun, but now it's over. The actors have moved on from their roles, and while not technically the official end, it seemed like the perfect place to end the franchise. While sad, I think it works. That's the end of the Diary of Wimpy Kid movies. So I haven't seen this fourth movie since 2017 when it first came out, and I remember not really liking it, but I'm a bit older now, and I want to rewatch it with more context. I understand why everyone wanted the old actors back. They didn't want more Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies, they wanted more Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies. But none of the child actors could play the same roles that they played back in 2010. I mean, in 2017, Zachary Gordon looked like this. He's not showing up like, hey guys, I'm so excited for 8th grade. Like, no, you're not. I understand why they wanted to make another film. I mean, look at the box office revenue and look how many books they still had left to cover. It makes sense why there's another one, but it also makes sense why people were angry that there's another one. You were handed the impossible task of trying to recast these characters. It didn't matter who you chose, people weren't going to be happy with it. So without further ado, let's jump in to Diary of Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul. Completely open-minded this time.
We have to come to Corny's. This place is for babies.
Can you fit right in, Greggy?
I've got to talk about the casting. Again, I just explained why I understand why this didn't work out, why it couldn't work out. But this guy is Rodrick. He got bullied out of his absolute mind. And when I first saw the movie, I didn't like him as Rodrick either. But dude, he was given a Mariana Trench of shoes to fill. People don't credit enough how perfect Devon was for this film. And everyone likes to talk about his looks. They say that he wasn't attractive enough to play Rodrick. Do you know what this guy was doing since he was 7? On and off with a couple big breaks. He was a model. This guy was modeling before he got cast for Rodrick and after. So how do you think he would have felt when everyone was making jokes about him? Not my Rodrick. This guy's ugly. And it's some bad ones. Also crazy, he posted a video 1 day ago, updating people about his life, and he said that people are still using #NotMyRodrick. Bro, it's been 8 years. Leave him alone. So Greg got embarrassed on video, and we all know that turns anyone into a meme nowadays. So he messages this YouTuber he likes to ask if he could be in a video. And I mean, seriously, a YouTuber as big as him, you can't seriously expect a reply.
No way! I've replied already! It says, thanks for the email, Greg.
What?
Used my name. I'm going to be a player
Greg.
this weekend in Indianapolis.
Greg, no, don't do it.
Mashing buttons and making gamer history. Hey,
don't do it.
Maybe you'll be my next YouTube video?
Greg! Hey guys, quick PSA. If a YouTuber is that willing to meet up with a child, maybe look into that, because it hasn't gone well in the past. So after watching this movie in its entirety, and also the length of this video already, I don't feel it's necessary to talk about this movie in as much depth. So let's separate it into a pros and cons list. First pro, the directing. It's the same. It's the same director as Rodrick Rules and Dog Days. It looks very similar, like sometimes even better. I mean, it makes sense they've had 5 more years. They did a pretty good job with that. Second pro, the music. Again, it's the same. They knew what worked with the other movies. They had a good composer. It's the same. First con, the writing. I was so close to complaining about the bad acting, but then I realized it's not even the actor's fault. It's the lines that they are saying. And I was like, why is that? Why is a movie that came out 5 years after the last one having a depreciation in quality of writing? It also had the same budget as Dog Days, tying with the highest budget of the franchise. So I looked, and they didn't hire any of the previous screenwriters, which is fine. Dog Days had 2 completely new screenwriters, and they did fine. So who did they hire? Jeff Kinney and David Bowers, the author of the book and the director. Now on paper, that's not a bad idea. The author of the book, so the guy who wrote the book, and the director who's making the movies. But I still feel with their budget and the success of the previous movies, don't change the formula. Hire out. A lot of the jokes really fell flat for me. The comedy in general was really dumbed down. I felt the quality of some of the best moments in this movie only really matched some of the worst moments in the other movies. That's not a good formula. And I know what you're probably thinking, why am I
complaining about a kid's movie not being funny. But I mean, it's the same franchise as the other one. It's the same target audience. The jokes should be at the same quality, but they're not. So I really wanted to take the blame off of some of the actors. It probably didn't feel like they were doing a good job in the movie, but take a moment to think about exactly what they said, and now think, if that came from the original actor, would it be that different? The answer, probably not. Second con, the characters. This is just an extension of my problem with the writing. But come on, you already had slam dunk characters. Why dumb them down? My biggest gripe is with Rodrick and Frank. I feel like this is a huge reason that Rodrick got so much blast for this movie. In the other movies, Rodrick is this like edgy older brother who, while isn't overly bright, shines in some other areas. Like, he's pretty good at getting people to do things for him. Rodrick in this movie is just a dumb guy. That's it. He's just a moron. That's not why people liked his character in the first place. You take any semblance of the character out of the character and what you're left with is something not worth watching. And Frank, he is just work time. It's time for work. I've got to take my work phone call. That's all he does. I think the person least affected by this departure in character is Manny. And he's a baby. My third and final con is the movie's just gross. Yeah, the other movies had some gross moments here and there, but I feel like they actually contributed something to the story. Take Fregley. His whole character was being gross, but that gave a reason for nobody liking him. Every other scene in this movie had a part that just made me cringe by how gross it was.
While slightly deserved, it does suck the sheer amount of bad reception this movie got. Because after filming concluded for the first movie, there were already plans for a second or third one, potentially matching the length of the original films. However, due to this bad reception, they just cancelled it completely. I think a better response would be just ignore all the idiots complaining about the casting, because obviously they're not going to be happy with anyone you choose. But take some of the more helpful criticism and maybe just adapt it for the next one.
I think we should end this video on a speed round of things. Class Clown was a short film that came out coupled with Dog Days, and it was an animated short voiced by Zachary Gordon about Greg the narcissist wanting to take away Rowley's role as Class Clown. Apparently there was going to be an animated TV show, but that never came to fruition with Fox. So apparently they had put together a whole segment for Fregley and Chirage, and it's interesting, but I don't know where they were going to fit it into the movie. It seems much more suited for a DVD extra.
Delicious. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I told you, I'm a new extension from Mumbai. My name is Annapurna. Now turn the rope.
There's a couple of deleted scenes that I am surprised never made the final cut. When Greg stayed over at Fregley's house, he was originally meant to meet Fregley's mum, which explains a lot about his character. The second one was at the end of the first movie. There was meant to be this whole montage of Greg explaining how great it is to have the cheese touch.
Nobody violates my personal space. I have plenty of privacy. Best of all, we get our very own table at lunch. After you.
And it's a great scene. I don't know why it wasn't in the movie. And from the third movie is a scene that has shown up in a lot of Frank's schizophrenic edits. And let me just play it out.
You threw Tingy away.
Well, it was an accident.
Tingy says you're going to have an accident.
There is a very real chance that there's not going to be any more live action movies made out of this franchise. And while that does suck, at least the existing movies can live on today. I mean, I'm not sure if you noticed, but I'm literally making a video right now on that. So thanks, Jeff Kinney, to your contribution to my childhood. And thank you if you've made it to the end of this video. Congratulations, as a reward, you can watch more of my videos. I won't stop you. That's the end of this very long video about Diary of a Wimpy Kid, so I bid you a farewell. What do you mean there's 3 animated movies and another short film?